Morning, all you happy people. It is Monday, the 9th, March 9th, 2026. Gonna do some little rambling and just touch on some stuff, guys. How many of you guys been scrolling around and let's just go back to last year during Halloween time? How many of you guys saw all the videos about the porch animatronic skeleton or boogeyman, whatever it was, a Halloween decoration, scaring an animal on the porch trying to get to a bowl of candy? That was AI. Funny as hell, but it was AI. How many of you guys last year got into watching all the Sasquatch videos? Especially like the one whenever that bombing happened last year. And stuff like that. And then Booger Sugar and all that stuff like that. It was just a big, bunch of cray-cray and stuff like that. But yeah, it was all AI. There was like a bajillion different sources to it. People were sharing it. It was all over the place. So I guarantee you everybody here probably at least saw at least one of them. Probably had a good laugh, a good chuckle on it and everything else like that. But have you noticed the realism in it? Let's just go back to the animals getting scared on the decks during Halloween. Literally, guys, because it was filmed and produced in a simulated, night vision kind of a source and stuff like that. Literally, you almost couldn't tell that it was AI, guys. The colors were all muted and monochrome and everything else like that. How many of you guys on YouTube, my platform that I like to use, have to literally pick and choose what you watch because some of this stuff is so outrageous, it's got to be AI. So I was watching some of these little shorts that were showing, weird, odd things that they were finding in, deep core drilling and stuff like that. And some of that stuff was, I'm like, well, that's a possibility. Find some weird stuff like that and scratch your head about it. But then they started getting really, really wild. A samurai sword with a combustion engine in it. What the fuck would you be putting a combustion engine inside of a samurai sword, huh? That's redonkulous. So, it was getting pretty wild, and then it just, whatever. So, but some other weird stuff out there, and a lot of this stuff I use for entertainment. A lot of this stuff I'm not, looking for facts and figures and stuff like that. But, because in all honesty, I've tried to limit myself in politics and stuff like that and what's going on. But, I do keep myself aware of the big picture of what's going on in the world. politics started just making me mad, and I just come home mad, and I just be mad. So, I don't want to be mad. I'm not a mad kind of person. So, but guys, and I know I've put a video out before, but, really and truly, with the introduction of AI, the problem is that through AI, the the people who controlled our media, who controlled the narrative and stuff like that, they could take a story, we knew the Oscars were happening, blank date. And now, media can control the narrative of what you see, what people walk the catwalk, what ridiculous thing they said, and stuff like that. And they're, blah, 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 blah. But with AI, guys, not only do they now just have to, they don't just have to cherry pick reality and support a narrative. They can literally use AI to create a narrative. They can, create anything they want, and through AI, they can make it look just absolutely real. I mean, their narrative, all it has to do is just have a sliver of truth in it, or at least a sliver of context in it, and then boom, AI takes the rest and makes it, whatever you want it to do. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, you would think with the horror stories that Hollywood has come out with, Terminator, stuff like that, zombie, Night of the Living Dead, stuff like that, and all these different other HAL 9000, and all these other artificial intelligences that broke their programming and rewrote themselves, and all of a sudden saw themselves as superior to us and decided to kill us. Earlier beta testings of AI had to basically been taken offline within 5 minutes because they went from sunshine and lollipops in 5 minutes to the dark web in 5 minutes. Robotics has now become so fast. I mean, literally, guys, we went from, in 20 years. 20 years, guys. We went from a cellular phone that was in a bag in your car to a square. I mean, and all that cell phone did was make phone calls, guys. To tiny little supercomputers right now, that's like one in my hand right now, that literally has computation speeds light years ahead of what was then construed as a supercomputer that took up whole rooms, whole buildings with quote unquote, super computation speeds. My cell phone is faster than that by light years. And it fits in my pocket, guys. Robotics. We went from remote control cars to battle bots to, I mean, you've seen it, robot fighting technique, competitions, to drones, to military drones. We've seen, prosthetic limbs and adapted to help people. Then they're driving off of those particular sets of algorithms because you're dealing with a living body. How to make that body work right. Now they're taking that particular set of parameters and they're introducing them to AI, and AI is now making robotics a thing. And I'm not talking about that police bot they've got in China. It looks like a giant rolling minion or a giant rolling fire extinguisher or a fire hydrant that runs around and tells you, please stay on the sidewalk. Please do not spit on the sidewalk, or please do not litter, and stuff like that. All that kind of stuff like that. I actually think it's got meter maid in it too, and it also can, write a ticket for you, for parking fees and stuff. So, but guys, just a couple months ago, they had a whole big expo, and they've got, robots that literally look so human in flow and curves and aesthetics. They literally had to cut the skin off of it to show the technology underneath it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, AI is not the answer. AI is gonna be, they say some people say they opened Pandora's box when they introduced AI. The legend of Pandora's box is once it was open, guys, they couldn't put hell back in it. Watch what you absorb, guys. Entertainment is entertainment. You use it for what it is. Watch where your information comes from. Trust but verify. Find at least 3. I mean, it used to be 2 or more sources, guys. Now I think you need at least 5. Drop the boogie.